commission मिला है, so you have got merit in for permanent commission because guys have both of it, and जिनकी merit high रहती है, they go for permanent commission. आपका
Yeah.
FCAT score क्या रहा है? There were girls with hardly 160 marks getting merit in. There were girls with 230 marks getting merit out. ठीक है?
Yeah.
So this thing
Correct.
happens.
The guys, his marks was in 160s range.
That you gave the examination when you were 24 years old. So एक ये लोगों के अंदर डर रहता है. There is this one fear that I did not give this examination at the point in time जब NDA देना चाहिए था. They'll ask me this, that why you didn't give NDA examination. Also they have this thing in their mind कि उनको extravagant English चाहिए. So is it important? Being a professional and being a person who is already into job since last 2 years, so how you manage to keep your SD realistic and at the same point in time showing the fact that you are interested in the forces. You were also a part of personal guidance as per to my notice, and you have got your stories checked. So how
Yeah.
it helped you?
वो आप कहते थे ना, जैसे used to say in the course that पहले से सोच के जाओगे तो you'll be able to answer much well.
Hi Anmol, it feels so good to have you here on InsightSSB platform. I remember the date when you started with your preparation for SSB on InsightSSB. So I just want to know that how exactly are you feeling to be on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's great, since preparing all this time and finally I succeeded. So it feels great. And here I hope that I'll be able to help some guys who are preparing this for future SSB also. Let's just give it a try.
You must have seen so many talks that of toppers on the YouTube channel, and now finally you are one amongst them. So I hope that it feels very good to share the strategy with the students so that it can help them a lot. So first,
Yep.
I would like to know that Anmol, as you started with the preparation for your SSB, so when you came across Insight SSB, what exactly pulled you towards us so that you should, have confidence that yes, I want to start with Insight SSB as it's my first SSB, because freshers को बहुत ज़्यादा issue होता है, उन्हें समझ नहीं आता कि preparation start कहाँ से करें.
Actually, see, first when I came across the introductory video on YouTube, so it was quite well made, and you had that means just by looking at the video, the things you were saying, I had a feeling that let's give it a try. So I just downloaded the app, and on that app you had some sample videos of some courses also, screening and all that initially. I think it's still there, sample videos. So I just gave it a try, and the videos are quite well made. So since it was the first SSB, I felt that means I could prepare well with those videos. And that was my initial motivation. So initially I took the screening course. It was quite well made, helped me a lot. And after one after another, I took the other courses also.
Okay, so the first thing is that I would like to know how exactly the screening course was of a great help to you.
So since this was my first SSB, I had zero idea, what to do in SSB and all. So nothing. So I just read a basic OLQ and all, how students generally start, 15 OLQs and all that, and basic the tests are there. So screening app, so you had a well made, means the videos are quite well made, and initially everyone, whenever they think of screening, first is OIR, then comes PPDT. So my main, since OIR more or less, it's kind of an aptitude test. So I didn't focus too much on that since I have a good aptitude. So means I was good in written test and all that. So my main focus was on preparing myself for my PPDT. So in PPDT courses, your the way you explained how to create a story, how to write a proper story, with a lot of details, and how not to make the main character. For example, used to say a lot that don't make it the main character superhuman or that kind of thing. Keep it realistic, add a lot of details to it, and so those kind of things really helped. So that's how the screening course was quite helpful. And of course, a lot of things. It's been a long time. I've forgotten a lot of tips you gave me back then.
Right. So, Anmol, I've heard this thing a number of times that people firstly just focus on those 15 OLQs and they have no idea about how to develop them or, how to see whether you have it in you or not. So, was the same case with you? You also felt the same thing that how to develop these OLQs, no idea about it.
Initially, when I read those 15 OLQs and all that, means I could just see that I had a little bit of every OLQ in myself. Means not 100% or something like that, but leadership, getting well along with others, that kind of things, in taking initiatives and all that. I could see that Means I just thought back to my day-to-day activities. Means I'm a working candidate, so during work, did I what kind of situation I put in, how do I react, and all that I thought back. I saw that basics I had it, but after reading those OLQs, I tried whenever I got the opportunity, to take a kind of initiative in my job. There was a project, and if I could take part in it, I took the initiative, and or whenever there are people under me who are working with me, I try to be a bit more helpful, get along with, means improve my meshing with others, get along well with them. So yeah, initially I had some of them, but over time I also kind of try to develop it more so that it will be much more helpful during my SSB.
So how exactly does course help you in believing a fact कि okay OLQ इस तरीके से develop करनी है, this is the way it is to be shown, because finally even if you have OLQs you're unable to show yourself there, तो उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. So how exactly it happened?
So see, regarding the OLQs, when I read the OLQ, so I felt that I had a little bit of every OLQ in me, so I didn't focus very much, ये OLQ चाहिए मुझे वो OLQ. I didn't focus too much on that. Whatever you taught during the course screening, be it interview and all that, I tried to focus, on writing better stories, answering the question safely and the correct type and in a correct way. So that was more of my focus. But of course, means the way you taught it in the courses, gradually the OLQs means I was able to show more of it from within myself itself.
Okay, glad to know that, Anmol. Talking about the fact that you have been a working professional, and second thing that I know about you is that you gave the examination when you were 24 years old. So एक ये लोगों के अंदर डर रहता है. There is this one fear that I did not give this examination at the point in time जब NDA देना चाहिए था. They'll ask me this, that why you didn't give NDA examination. Also they have this thing in their mind कि उनको extravagant English चाहिए. So is it important?
No, of course not. See, first I'll tackle that English part. Okay, my English is okay, not too good, not too bad. So there, during interview or be it GD, GP, you just think basic Indian English, nothing too fancy. Okay, you should just be able to communicate without stuttering or any of that. So confidence and a bit of practice is required. No fancy words, just use simple words, and you should be able to communicate your thoughts. And regarding the first part of the question, work experience, actually, I too was expecting that question during the interview, and he did ask me. It means, see, it's already been 2 years since your graduation, and you're coming now. This is your first time, so I didn't give you NDA and all that. So I just told him, my situation was that my circle, nobody, generally guys, tried for MBA, GATE, PSUs, masters, and all that in abroad, that kind of thing. I just told him that my circle, guys didn't really actually tried for this. So I'd never thought, of course, I'd always been interested in aircrafts, Air Force, and all that thing, but never thought of making it as a career. So, but after working for 2 years in a private industry, I just felt that, I cannot continue on living this kind of a life. So then I again thought about joining the AIF. So that was my answer, and it was an honest one. So that's.
So you agree with the fact that being honest is the best thing?
Of course, means if you have been a means okay guy and not done too many bad things and all that, average student, average guy, you have a bit of sports, you have done bit of sports, bit of activities, all that involved in other things. Being honest helps.
Great. And Anmol, because you have been the part of even the interview course that was there, and there was proper segregation of different type of questions that come up. So how exactly was the course helpful for your interview preparation? And can you just level it down to a fact कि क्या क्या चीजें थी उसके अंदर and how exactly it helped in transforming you?
See, from all that courses, of course, every course was quite helpful to me. But interview was one where I could directly see the effect of how your course helped me. See, during the interview, जैसे आपने बोला, the courses are segregated, means questions about family, question about friends, questions in job, and all that. So I just what I did was that I referred to your videos, and there you used to list down the questions and probable answers according to the situation of the student. So in that way, I also prepared my own notes. Means this question, if it comes, then this will be my answer. Of course, my answer was more or less honest, no lie and all that. Half truth sometimes maybe. Okay. So that way, I had prepared comprehensive notes of all the questions from your course. Okay, and also regarding my own situation, means I used to add a few questions since everyone's situation is different. So I might be
Exactly.
asked on all that. In that way, I had a comprehensive notes prepared, and I used to weekly or sometimes 2 weeks gap I used to read those questions, and you think that if this question come, I'll answer in that way. Because see, for personal questions, if it's better if you are prepared. Okay, sometimes he'll ask you that how has your friend helped you. So see, in an interview, I'll just give a small example. Okay, so in interview, I was asked to name a few friends. So out of one, he picked a particular friend of mine and asked me how has he helped you. So in that point of time, you're under stress and you suddenly say something which is not too good. Nah, means you say,
Exactly. This was even told in the course that you need to create examples. You need to have examples
yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
you
That
don't think there. I
hmm,
segregated it separately कि यार ये करना है इस तरीके से आपको लिखनी है ये चीजें.
पहले से वो आप कहते थे ना, जैसे यूज्ड टू से इन द कोर्स दैट पहले से सोच के जाओगे तो यू विल बी एबल टू आंसर मच वेल. तो आप मतलब इंटरव्यू को खराब चीजें कम देंगे और अपने अच्छे क्वालिटीज जो है जो कि ट्रूथी रहेंगे मोर और लेस, वो आप शोकेस कर पाओगे अच्छे से.
डू यू फील कि कोई अलग टाइप का क्वेश्चन आया था जो कि कोर्स में इंक्लूडेड नहीं था, ऑलमोस्ट वन एंड द सेम थिंग्स, या फिर एनीथिंग वाज डिफरेंट फॉर यू?
ना सी, as you had already said during the course, most of the interviewers focus on me was personal questions. Okay, and the personal questions in a course was covered very well. तो उसमें कोई दो बात नहीं है. तो extra questions one job related होते ही है because everybody works in a different kind of industry and all
राइट.
that. और of course GK question you cannot predict. तो GK के थोड़े अलग थे और job के.
This is
Personal.
one more fear. This is one more fear of students. There is this one more thing, Anmol, that जो GK के questions हैं, that leads to selection or rejection. तो आप इस बात को मानते हैं या नहीं मानते?
See, actually, उन्होंने मुझे he didn't ask me a specific GK question. Okay, current affairs at least. He just told me to name two international events of repute. I mean, important international event. So American election ये सब था तो मैंने बता दिया. तो ये मैं बता नहीं पाऊंगा. Selection make deal breaker maker ऐसा मुझे नहीं लगता. I don't think so. Because of course being able to answer adds to means more marks for you. That is
I've
what I feel.
told this thing in the course itself कि this question is just to make sure कि आपको वो काफी ज्यादा प्रेशराइज कर सके ताकि आप फाइनली अपने पर्सनल क्वेश्चंस में प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करें ताकि आप जो है प्रॉपर्ली आंसर ना दे पाए उन्हें. So
हाँ,
that is
क्योंकि
the
आप
main thing.
यू लूज फोकस ना तो आप कुछ गलती कर बैठेंगे. मोर और लेस प्रेशर बिल्ड करने के लिए भी होता
Exactly. So when I come to your psych, तो अनमोल psych की preparation आपने किस तरीके से की थी? What were those means by which you used to prepare for the psych? And how exactly you practiced your psychology test? Because psychology test takes a hell lot of time. It takes almost, you have to sit there for almost 2-3 hours and give your test.
है.
So it is a rigorous test. So how exactly you prepared your mind to sit there for 3 hours properly in proper state of mind and proper psych? So how exactly you performed?
What psych text, actually initially I never thought of it, as a combined test for 3 hours and all that. My focus was on individual test first. So everybody, when they hear of it, they think of WAT. Story writing, everybody is behind story writing, during the initial SSB preparation time. So after I prepared for PPTT and I was more or less confident of that part, I started with the WAT part. Okay. Oh, so not WAT, sorry, TAT. So TAT part, similarly, I just practice the stories. Initially, क्या होता है कि जैसे at least for the new candidates and all that, when you see a photo, your mind goes totally blank for a few seconds and you think क्या लिखूंगा story उस type का होता है. So initially my focus was कि no pressure on time during preparation. मैं पहले फोटो देखूंगा. I'll just think of a good story, okay, and flesh out the details. तो मैं ऐसे करके around 8 जितना लगता था, I used to write a good story first initially. After
Okay.
as time progressed and I saw the photo, I was instantly able to think of a good story. So I मैंने time कम करना चालू किया. So in the end, I used to write this okay story in around 3.5 to 4 minutes. That was my strategy. And of course,
Okay. So the main thing that you did was that initially without any time boundation, you did
yeah,
that. आपने बिना time boundation के ये सोचने की कोशिश की कि how I can relate myself to this picture, being a fact कि आप psychologically भी correct हैं, and accordingly you prepared for it. Thereafter, with due course of time, जब आपको आने लग गई themes कि यार okay, this is the theme that I'll have in my mind looking at this picture, then you started preparing according to time boundation.
of course. Means first I
Okay,
focused on the quality, then I contracted my writing time.
great. Yeah, then moving towards the SRTs.
SRTs, your tips help out a lot. Okay, see, so SRT also I followed the similar pattern. First quality, means when I could react properly to a situation, practically. And I used to say, SRT also add in a lot of details, try to make it as realistic and practical as possible. So initially I used to write 3-4 lines without any term foundation, and later on I used to contract it and used to say, use commas, remove and, but, conjunction if you can, and use commas instead. So that way I was able to reduce the
Right.
time. That was
Exactly. That helps you in reducing the amount of, the
exactly.
length of the SRTs that you're writing, and helps you in adding as much as information possible.
Of course, very correct. Yeah. So
Right.
that was
And one more thing, Anmol, I would like to know one thing from you, that SRT or TAT के अंदर what people do is that they make, as you even said, कि superhuman बना देते हैं लोग, ठीक है? So how you try to keep yourself grounded? Because this is one of the major issues that students have, कि उन्होंने देखा नहीं पिक्चर को, उससे पहले ही उसमें ये चीजें ऐड करनी शुरू कर देते हैं कि उन्होंने 3-4 एक्शंस लिख दिए और एक भी एक्शन को प्रॉपर्ली जस्टिफाई नहीं कर पाते हैं.
So I'll start with SRT. SRT में क्या है कि see that starts with the practice at home itself. तो वहीं पे आपको प्रैक्टिस कर लेना रियलिस्टिक होने का. तो that is what why I was always focusing on the quality part. जैसे एक एग्जांपल ले लेता हूँ कि it came in my tat or during the SSB. Okay, you saw a snake. So how will you react? Your brother is lying on that couch and the snake is close to his brother. तो इनिशियली तो आपको क्या है कि फोकस करना है कि मैं आराम से सोच के हाउ एम आई गोइंग टू रिएक्ट, मुझे क्या करना है. आपको बस सोचना है कि व्हाट विल बी एक्शन बी. मुझे पहले तो अपने ब्रदर को बचाना है, उसके बाद समहाउ स्नेक को डील करना है. तो आप
Right.
इस तरह से तोड़ोगे सिचुएशन, यू विल ब्रेक द सिचुएशन टू वेरियस पार्ट्स. ओके, प्रायोरिटी वाइज. So how am I going to save my brother? So what my solution was, I just threw a blanket over the snake. It won't be able to move. मैं
Right.
बाहर से I'll just call my brother out from the room. First part solved. The second part is I have to deal with that snake somehow, isn't it? So what I
Right.
do, I'll call either a snake catcher or a forest rangers and all that, and they will take care of it. So that is how I did it. I used to
Okay, so
break the
basically
problem.
you segregated it. Parts में
Yeah,
divide करके, and thereafter you used to try and answer each and every part segregatedly.
realistically means normal life में जैसे करते हैं. Of course I didn't go and try to catch it, save my brother from that snake and all that. मुझे
Right.
पता है, I go and catch the snake, it will bite me and my brother will also be in danger.
Exactly. You've never done it in your real
Yeah.
life, so of course आप नहीं कर पाएंगे. But at the same point in time, अगर कोई NCC वाला student है and he has been to certain camps, so of course that person can do this thing.
Yeah. See, that is what I'm saying. Realistic to you.
Right.
If he's experienced, he can of course do it. That will be much better, much less risky.
Exactly. That is why I always say that relate to your own self.
Exactly, correct.
Yeah. Moving towards the VAT.
Okay, and what so I didn't do anything else. You had a comprehensive list itself, so I just practiced from that. Not regularly, once or twice in a week. I should just read those and write those VAT parts. And
Okay, so
sometimes,
you basically just learned whatever was provided in the course itself for the VAT.
yeah,
That's it.
more or less. Yeah. Sometimes I just used to refer, to online question, set kind of thing, just for practice and all that. Yeah.
Okay, but basic जो आपकी sentence formation थी, that was from the course itself, nothing from outside, right? Okay.
See, when you already have a big list, okay? So जब आप उस लिस्ट को पढ़ोगे आप, तो जैसे किस तरह से सेंटेंस फॉर्मिंग किया गया वो सब देखोगे, 1 or 2 few क्वेश्चंस बाहर से आ भी जाते हैं, तो आप हैबिचुएटेड हो जाओ कि मैं इस तरह से लिख दूंगा.
Exactly. The certain things have been told VAT में पहले ही बताई गई हैं कि this way you have to deal with VAT, and thereafter the PDFs or the videos that have been provided for the VAT is given afterwards, right? Okay. So Anmol, when I talk about your SD, so what was your focus? Being a professional and being a person who is already into job since last 2 years, so how you managed to keep your SD realistic and at the same point in time showing the fact that you are interested in the forces?
Okay, see, for SD, it's basically what my friends and all that. For parents, friends, and all that, job part doesn't matter very much. So I tried to be honest. I consulted my parents, for that parents' viewpoint. So they just told me that, see, I'm a good son, no problem. Okay, so they told me and just wrote it as it is. Okay, so no problem out there also. And for friends also, I called them. What are friends for? So and I just asked them realistic opinion. Okay, and the good parts I wrote it down. Then there weren't very much bad part also. Small I didn't include. Okay, they'll create problem unnecessarily.
So your SD, again, this is one of the issues that students have. They want to know a fact that do we have to put our bad areas or the bad things that we have in SD, or it should be just about the good things. So what exactly you did?
So relating to the bad part, see, I feel that you should if it isn't very serious, it's mild, you should include it, because that makes it much more realistic. और अगर आप बस good parts लिखोगे एसडी में, साइक खुद समझ जाएगा कि ये छुपा रहा है मुझसे कुछ बात, क्योंकि that's not possible that you only have good qualities and you don't have any bad qualities at all. So mild
Right.
qualities you should mention. Or
Great.
job related SD, see, I cannot ask my colleagues and all that how you think about me. I just imagine how they interact with me, how I interact with them, and from that I formed an opinion and wrote it myself.
Great. So Noel, now I would like to know that how you managed your preparation, because बहुत सारे जो working candidates हैं उनके साथ ये problem होती है that either they don't get the time to prepare for the written. If the written got cleared, they don't have time for SSB. So how being a working candidate, Insight SSB has been of a great help to you. Because of course, being the fact that you were under the stress of Corona, couldn't go out, and secondly, the fact is that you're preparing, so आप working candidate हो, so it gets very difficult to prepare at this point in time. तो आप किस तरीके से आपने manage की अपनी studies along with your job?
For my FCAT preparation, my FT, as I already told, it was okay. So I didn't, study the questions. I just picked up a book from Arihant, any publication you can use, previous year's question. And I used to just, when I came home, I used to set a timer for around 40 of that kind of thing, and practice, give a full set, okay, within that time. That way, I did around 10 to 15 papers and all that, and that was more or less my preparation for FCAT FT part. And for GK, I referred to online videos here and there, but it didn't help me much. But that was my basic preparation for FCAT, yeah.
Okay.
And regarding SSB, actually, see, SSB is very vast preparation compared to FCAT, for me at least, because FCAT I didn't have to practice much. So there were a lot of tests and all that, a lot of data to be accumulated. But InsightSSB helped in a way that everything was available there itself. I just had to come home, and refer to whichever topic I liked it, wanted to practice. I just watch the video and do a bit of practice. Not every day, sometimes you get tired. So for SSB, how InsightSSB helped me was that, see, इसमें क्या है कि everything is sorted out well, और सबका material दिया हुआ है, means reading, practice and all, everything is present there. So I just used to come home, relax a bit, and watch 1 or 2 videos and practice it. That way regularly, I kept practicing it. So ho gaya.
You were also a part of personal guidance, as per to my notice, and you have got your stories checked. So how it helped you?
See, initially I used to practice this question, means PPDT and all this. So I didn't know what quality the quality of my answer, So that is why I constantly whether I was doing everything correctly or there was some small mistake which I had to correct. So, and the way you promptly used to reply and tell me that this part doesn't look realistic, or include a bit more details into it, change the format and all that helped out a lot regarding storytelling.
Yeah, I tell this thing to my students that personal guidance is very, very important. The reason for the same is that you follow everything, but are you in real following it? Because when you write down, you certainly don't add up a lot of things, and hence it is very important to take a guidance to understand whether I'm writing it properly or I'm not doing that.
Yeah, of course. If you're serious regarding the preparation and you're doing regularly, it of course helps to have a third person guide you. That is why teachers are there, isn't it? Always watching the video, sometimes you have to get the feedback also, means how your preparation is going on and all that.
Exactly. Anmol, I would like to know one more thing. According to you, what is that ideal time that you should have before your SSB for the preparation? Because there are certain students who contact me and they are yet, there is almost 2 years of time to give SSB, and they come to me and say that, ma'am, please give us guidance how to develop those OLQs. So according to you, what is that ideal time when a person should start with the preparation?
See, just only regarding the test part, I think if you are mentally more or less within that mold of the what the recruiters are looking for, maximum 1 to 2 months. I'd say 2 months, that is safe. Okay, 2 to 3 months, because you have to practice the format and all that, how to write down that part. But regarding the OLQC, it's not something you can just learn like that. Okay, and everybody, I believe, has at least a few of the OLQs within them. So it's kind of a cumulative thing. Means everything you do. See, a lot of guys maybe in college right now, so you can start from there itself. Get involved in activities there. Try to play whatever committees and all that. Get involved in them. Not too much, because academics is much more important. Try to help out others and that kind of thing. You'll see slowly the OLQs will develop itself. And
So
for those who have,
according to you, the thing is that you need to start involving yourself into various activities and spend your time equally towards academics and developing your personality, because finally co-curriculars play a very, very important role in developing your OLQs.
so yeah, interacting with others, it helps a lot, regarding your communication skill and all that.
Right. And talking about personality development, Anmol, mujhe jo feel hota, I'll just tell you that thing, that newspaper has a great role because finally it helps in developing your ideology. आपको GD में help मिलती है, आपको उसमें interview में help मिलती है, and talking about your lecturate, you'll be having a lot of points because what I see students doing is कि वो 300 lecturate के pages लेके बैठ जाते हैं, उन्हें याद करते रहते हैं, फाइनली वहां पर वो टॉपिक नहीं आता. तो आई फील कि अगर वो ज्यादा रिलेटेबल रहे रियल लाइफ से, उन्हें पता हो कि व्हाट्स हैपनिंग आजकल इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन में क्या चल रहा है. इट्स ओके इफ यू डोंट नो अबाउट पास्ट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली हैपेंड, हिस्ट्री क्या रही है, बट इफ यू नो कि आज की डेट में क्या चल रहा है, एंड वे फॉरवर्ड बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. जस्ट रीडिंग की क्या चीज हो रही है, उसके साथ साथ अपना खुद का माइंडसेट होना कि वे फॉरवर्ड क्या रहेगा. दैट वाज माय आइडियोलॉजी ड्यूरिंग लेक्चरेट. मैं हमेशा इस चीज का ध्यान देती थी कि कभी भी मैं किसी भी चीज के बारे में बोल रही हूँ तो मैं अपना पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी बताऊं कि अगर ये इशू है तो ये सॉल्व कैसे होगा. यू वर पार्ट ऑफ लेक्चरेट एज वेल, तो आपको ये चीज हेल्प करी?
देखिए, एक्चुअली फॉर माय लेक्चरेट, जो वहाँ पे आपके कोर्स में थी इंडिया पाकिस्तान रिलेशन, सॉरी, वही आ गया था. तो हो गया. बट ऑफ कोर्स सी लेक्चरेट एवरी टाइम इट वुड मैच ना. सो आपने जैसे बोला कि रियल वर्ल्ड टच रहने से इट विल बी अ लॉट हेल्पफुल. तो मतलब because and it's not that you have to read a newspaper and try to remember everything related to it. Just the basic idea if you have, you'll be able to speak a lot on lecture part. Yeah.
Right, Anmol. So I would like to know कि आपने ground task की जो preparation करी थी and how it worked in the ground task.
Ground task, see, regarding GD, so जैसे आपने lecturate में कहा same thing. Okay, both of our topics were current affairs. So more or less basic आपको अगर not too much detail, basic अगर you have a touch, so you will be able to complete, means at least you'll know the topic. Okay. और regarding discussion जो है, देखिए GD में हमेशा there's only one formula, मेरे लिए at least for me from placement time and all that, कि always be involved. आप भी बोला करते थे, during the courses all that, be involved in the discussions. So GD मेरा यही था, I'll be involved in the discussion, contribute positively. और जहां अगर if I feel that guys are getting off topic, bring them back, try to bring them back. Okay. और जैसे मेरे GD में हुआ था कि एक ग्रुप बन गया था छोटा सा इस साइड, और अदर साइड गाइज आर नॉट गेटिंग टू टॉक. सो आई encourage those guys also to add their points. So यही था मेरा GD में कि I'll be involved positively in there.
And regarding one more thing, Anmol, I've heard related to GD. Sorry for stopping you to speak ahead. I would like to know that GD के अंदर people get very aggressive. You must have seen that in your group as well. So what do you feel कि aggressiveness help करती है या फिर नहीं?
In my group, the guys mostly were freshers, okay, at least inside the screening part. So we didn't have any that kind of problem. पर मेरे हिसाब से aggressiveness won't help you 0%. It will help you 0%. Okay, see, another group close to us, we could hear them shouting during the GD and all that. And later, one of the guys from the group, उन्होंने बोला कि यार बड़ा GD खराब चला गया. So GD में जो भी हो, पूरे ग्रुप आप पहले से गुड रिलेशन बना के रखो खुद के साथ, और वहां जाके यही पॉइंट होना चाहिए कि सबको equally it's not possible. Everybody gets a chance to put across their point, और gentlemanly discussion, that's the best way. क्योंकि आप अगर सोच रहे हो कि मैं GD में सबको डोमिनेट करके SSB इन हो जाऊं, ये तो होने वाला है नहीं. आप सबको मौका दे, उससे क्या होगा, आपको भी पॉइंट्स मिलेंगे और आपके टीममेट्स को भी पॉइंट मिलेंगे. That's the best way to go
Agreed.
ahead.
Yeah. So moving ahead with the GT.
GP also similar. Preparation see online बहुत सारे resources है, और GP the format is always the same. 4 problems, prioritize them and put forward a solution according to the priority. कि सबसे general यही होता है कि एक serious accident हो गया होता है, you have to take that guy to the hospital. That kind of thing is the first priority. और last वाले में एक cow खो जाता है, कुछ हो, fourth one, So prioritize them. I just दो 3-4 ही किए थे मैंने. I just used to prioritize them, make up a solution. Distance, just look at the map, approximate distances, approximate time calculation कि यहाँ से यहाँ इतने. So just तो उसी टाइप से बस GPU हो गया था.
I have heard this one issue, Anmol, ki people they try using a lot of mathematical equation and find out exact distance, exact time, and spend a lot of time in doing that instead of focusing upon the problem. So did you do the same, or you went for the different kind of approach? You focused on the problem and didn't pay heed to calculating a lot of things?
Okay, see, GP, the thing is, there is always the first, you have to categorize those problems. Okay. Now, after that, instead of looking at the calculation, you have to pay attention to those various maps, the where the hospital is located, railway station, bus station, and all that. So that is the second part. कि कहाँ कहाँ मेरी चीजें हैं और approximate. See, scale, there's a scale given on the below, but that's not important. You can gauge by eye. There's a big board during GP, and you can just gauge the distance for finding the approximate solution. Okay. उसके बाद आता है कैलकुलेशन पार्ट की पहले मैं ये करूंगा वो करूंगा तो आप यू राइट द सोल्यूशन एंड इफ यू हैव अ बिट ऑफ टाइम लेफ्ट कैलकुलेशन ऐड कर सकते हैं मैंने भी कर दिया था कि यहाँ से यहाँ इतना अप्रोक्सीमेट डिस्टेंस इतना टाइम लगेगा प्रूफ की तरह मैथमेटिकल प्रूफ जैसे तो कैलकुलेशन पार्ट थोड़ा बाद में आता है फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटाइजेशन फिर फीचर्स पॉइंट फाइंड करने आपको अप्रोक्सीमेट डिस्टेंस सोल्यूशन उसके बाद में दिखा सकते हैं अगर टाइम बचता है
ओके एंड मूविंग अहेड विद अदर पार्ट्स आई वुड लाइक टू नो वन थिंग इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल्स के लिए लोग बहुत ज्यादा प्रैक्टिस करते हैं सो हाउ मेनी यू डिड
आई डिड 7 ऑफ दोस और या 7 और उसमें दैट्स इनफ आई थिंक 6 टू बहुत सारे लड़के मिले रिकमेंडेड मोस्टली 6 to 7 ऑफ कोर्स बहुत एथलेटिक वाले 9 10 भी किए हैं आउट ऑफ 10 तो दोस वर रेलेटिव स्पीसीज तो इतना भी आई डोंट थिंक you should worry too much about individual. Of course, you should start earning a bit so that you are able to do at least 6 to 7 minimum.
One thing here. Now, Anmol, firstly, I would like to know about your FCAT score. Because अब मेरे को individual obstacle के साथ आपका याद आता है FCAT का score. क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि SSB में मार्क्स बहुत डिपेंड करते हैं कितने इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल करें आपको परमानेंट कमीशन मिला है सो यू हैव गॉट मेरिट इन फॉर परमानेंट कमीशन बिकॉज गाइस हैव बोथ ऑफ इट एंड जिनकी मेरिट हाई रहती है दे गो फॉर परमानेंट कमीशन आपका FCAT स्कोर क्या रहा है
FCAT मेरा 212 था
212 so that is the reason like a lot of people have this doubt I have seen during my time there were girls with hardly 160 marks getting merit in there were girls with 230 marks getting merit out ठीक है so you this thing happens even with you it must have happened आपके आसपास जितने लोग थे
हाँ मैंने देखा see merit out तो I don't know a lot of those guys but one of the guys his marks was in 160s range and he got SSC but he got merit in so SS मतलब FCAT उतना भी खराब गया doesn't mean that you are out okay SSB marks में बहुत ज्यादा वेटेज होता है
Exactly, and वो सिर्फ इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल पे डिपेंड नहीं करता you did it like you did almost 7 उसने भी almost इतने ही किए होंगे because I remember a girl with me she did just 5 got merit in with 160 marks
वही है इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल आई थिंक आप जितना कर पा रहे हो सेफली कर लो you shouldn't get hurt but जितना करो थोड़ा कॉम्पिटिटिव टाइप से करना
राइट
काफी हो जाना चाहिए इट विल बी इनफ
एग्जैक्टली So Anmol, इसके अलावा भी there are various other parts जैसे HGT होता है, PGT होता है. So what was your technique related to the same?
So see for HGT, PGT, see you can't practice on the ground. Most of the guys want to have access to that kind of facility. So I just watched a lot of YouTube videos, and I just pause before that particular problem and think of the solution. कि मैं ऐसे उसको बांधूंगा that kind of thing. And whenever those guys, some videos have shown a good techniques to ऐसे इस टाइप का आ गया क्रॉस टाइप का तो ऐसे बांध सकते हैं सो वो चीज मैंने याद की थी तो कमांड टास्क में काम भी आ गया था that type I practiced the command task
so how was your behavior in command task because lot of people say a thing कि जो आपके subordinates होते हैं they are just like your men who are your juniors तो आपने उन्हें उस तरीके से ट्रीट किया था या it was a friendly interaction because this is one of the issue that defense aspirants have so what do you think about it
see not only command task my philosophy during work and all that was that ki junior they might be my junior but they are my guys okay so मतलब मैं हमेशा during work also polite friendly type का relation रखता हूँ even now so command task में भी same I just called those when those guys came I just explained कि देखो ये problem है we are going to solve this in a polite manner so I see means you are the lead commander means doesn't mean कि आप you are the king kind of thing so try to be friendly
This is one of the things that's defense aspirants don't understand कि वहां पर आपको कमांडर बनाया गया है बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि वो सबऑर्डिनेट आपके they are your people who are working at your home you have to give them equal respect this I would like to give this information to each and everyone whoever is watching this YouTube video currently
of course देखिए आप जब when you enter the defense okay see I'm from civilian background my theory those guys working under you they'll be very qualified at what they do okay तो भले वो आपके अंडर है लेकिन उनको अपने एरिया में दे आर सब्जेक्ट मैटर एक्सपर्ट। जैसे आप
राइट।
तो इसीलिए यू जस्ट बिकॉज यू आर अबव देम डजंट मीन कि आप कुछ भी बोले जा रहे हैं, सो ट्राई टू बी पोलाइट काइंड। अच्छा, कमांडर्स, अनदर थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू आस्क, a lot of videos I saw, online, there were questions ki should the commander help out the guys or not with Fattabali and all those things. So I would suggest listen to your GTO, as in my case, because in my case the GTO shared that we are supposed to help during the instruction part, we are supposed to help physically as well as mentally. तो उन्होंने वही स्पेसिफाई कर दिया कि आपको फिजिकली भी हेल्प कर सकते हैं, तो जीटीओ को सुनिएगा,
Okay.
आफ्टर दैट यू कैन रिएक्ट लाइकवाइज।
So that is why instructions are very important when it is about SSB.
जीटीओ में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज फॉलो द इंस्ट्रक्शन। इंडिविजुअल ऑब्स्टिकल आल्सो आई फॉरगॉट टू टेल यू, एक्चुअली द जीटीओ गिव्स यू वेरी गुड टेक्निक्स टू क्रॉस दोस, कि दैट टाइगर लीप थिंग, तो कैसे करना है उसको, जंप, ब्रेक, लैंडिंग, बेंड योर नीज एंड ऑल दैट गुड टेक्निक्स। लिसन टू द जीटीओ वेरी केयरफुली इन ऑल द टेस्ट।
Great. Because there are a lot of people who have never taken any kind of coaching and still clear the SSBs, and there are a lot of people who have taken the coachings, have been trained like robots, and are not able to clear this SSB process.
भाई आई थिंक ट्राई टू बी नेचुरल, रिलैक्स, थोड़ा फ्री टाइप, एकदम if उस टाइप से, I don't think that's a good method to go about in your SSB. Try to be calm,
Right.
fit to the guys and all that.
Right. Okay, Anmol, I would like to ask one more question from you. Being the fact that you're an engineer and you have been the Meriton through the technical entry, if I'm right.
Yeah.
You are Meriton by AEM.
AEM, mechanical, yeah, correct.
Okay, that's great. So what has been your strategy for EKT? This is the most asked question on the YouTube channel of InsightSSB.
So see, during EKT, the question paper actually involved a few questions from 12th basics physics, okay, and Gauss and all that, and the rest were mostly from the 4-year courses, and the questions weren't very deep. They were mostly things like vibrations में एक होता है एप्सिलॉन करके, वो सब उस टाइप की चीज थे। तो बेसिक आप प्रिपेयर कर लीजिए सारे सब्जेक्ट्स का, मेन फ्लूइड मैकेनिकल, सॉरी वाइब्रेशंस जो है वो वाली पार्ट, और हीट एंड ऑल दैट, बेसिक सबका पढ़ लेने से आई थिंक इट विल बी मोरल
थर्मोडायनेमिक्स, हीट, जो ये अपने बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट रहते हैं जो 11 12th में रहते हैं, उसी को थोड़ा सा और इन डेप्थ, ज्यादा डीप में नहीं जाना, दैट इज व्हाट यू वांट टू से।
डेप्थ की जरूरत नहीं है यार, और 4-year कॉलेज के जितने भी मेन इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट्स का बेसिक्स पढ़ने से इट विल मोर देन एनफ।
Anmol, there is one more thing that we see that computer science वाले बोलते इलेक्ट्रिकल वाला ज्यादा पोर्शन आ गया था पेपर के अंदर, सो ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या, या प्रिपरेशन डिपेंड करती है अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हिच ब्रांच आर यू फ्रॉम?
हाँ, सी सिंस आई एम फ्रॉम मैकेनिकल, फिर भी मुझे बंदों के डिस्कशन थोड़े सुने, सो सीएस इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स का तो कंबाइंड एक ही पेपर आता है शायद, तो इसमें इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स के भी काफी पार्ट होते हैं, तो द गाय फ्रॉम सीएस ही आल्सो हैज टू स्टडी द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स पार्ट आल्सो, बेसिक्स जो भी आता है, तो उस टाइप का उनको पढ़ना पड़ेगा या।
ओके, सो यू फील दैट बेसिक्स के साथ साथ उनको अपना थोड़ा सा दूसरी फील्ड का भी थोड़ा बेसिक पढ़ लें, एंड अपना जो है वो अपना करना ही है।
इलेक्ट्रॉनिक साइड से भी उनको सब्जेक्ट्स तो पढ़ने पड़ेंगे, मतलब मेरे को जो आइडिया लगा या।
Okay. Anmol, there is one more thing that people undergo n number of resources for SSB. कि यहाँ से भी coaching ले लेते हैं, यहाँ से भी ले लेते हैं. So what do you think about it? Does it help or not?
No, means my personal opinion, I don't think it will help you much. मतलब आप कहीं से भी लीजिए, of course it should be a good one. थोड़ा तो trusted है, I prefer InsightSSB, but ठीक है, आप whichever you prefer, try to stick to that one. First, पहले आप अच्छे से देख लीजिए अच्छा है कि नहीं है, ओके, तो चूज अ गुड वन और उसी को फॉलो कीजिए आप थ्रू आउट। और मटेरियल आल्सो लाइकवाइज, डोंट कि ओआर करना है तो एसएसबी क्रैक के भी डाउनलोड कर लिए, यहाँ के भी ऐसे, ओके, सो यहाँ से भी तो जस्ट कोई एक रिसोर्स पकड़िए अच्छा वाला एंड फॉलो दैट विल बी मोर देन एनफ फॉर एसएसबी। तो बिकॉज वहां पे मेंटालिटी आपकी चेक होने वाली है, आपको बस कैसे उसको शो करना है क्वालिटी, वो दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। यही मैंने बहुत एक्सपीरियंस का देखा है कि मतलब ग्रुप्स में भी होते थे, तो वहां पे ये इसके पीडीएफ उसके पीडीएफ आप पढ़ोगे भी नहीं, 95% यू वोंट इवन स्टडी, फॉलो वन सोर्स एंड ट्रस्ट इट कंप्लीटली।
राइट, एंड अनमोल एक और चीज मैंने नोटिस की है दैट स्क्रीनिंग के लिए पीपल गिव अ लॉट ऑफ हीट टू दिस ओआईआर टेस्ट, एंड मेन थिंग इज पीपीडीटी। उसके लिए लोग प्रिपरेशन करते नहीं है, रीजनिंग ही करते रह जाते हैं, वो तो बहुत बेसिक आती है एज पर टू मी। सो व्हाट डू यू थिंक अबाउट इट?
हाँ, ओआरसी क्वेश्चन बेसिक ही रहती है, only thing you have to do is to try to do as many questions as possible and with good accuracy. Speed is the main factor. आपकी एफटी अगर ठीक ठाक है तो चल जाएगा काम, बट यू हैव टू बी वेरी फास्ट, बहुत फोकस के साथ करना होता है, टाइम इज वेरी लेस, तो वही मेन पार्ट है। Acha, one more thing regarding that PPTT narration, I'd like to add कि PPTT everybody focuses only on writing the stories, but one more important aspect they forget is the narration part. तो narration में मैं बताना चाहूँगा, practice it very well at home. जैसे with a clear loud voice और cracking नहीं होना चाहिए. वहाँ क्या होता है, बहुत बार nervousness के time stuttering होता है, voice crack होता है, तो वो नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि see during our PPTT discussion, so just before we are entering the seat, the three SSs are already seated, ठीक है. तो जब हम एंटर कर रहे थे, उन्होंने तभी से नोट्स बनाना चालू कर दिया. आई डोंट नो व्हाट दे वर राइटिंग, बट तभी से उन्होंने नोट करना चालू कर दिया था. सो नरेशन पार्ट में भी इंपॉर्टेंट है, और डिस्कशन में भी यही. बाकी सी फ्रॉम आवर ग्रुप 3 guys were selected, और उसमें से तो those 2 guys I whenever I think back, तो उनका देखिए, मैं आई कैन नॉट एनालाइज माई सेल्फ ना विदाउट बाय.
Right.
So what I saw out them was narration part also very loud, clear with confidence, और story को more or less conclude कर दिया within 1 minute. And during discussion also, they are very clear and they are positively contributing to the discussion. और वो होता ना argument वाली चीज उनमें नहीं थी. So this all I'd like to add.
This will help InsightSSB family a lot to know कि ये चीजें हमें avoid करनी है, because this all has been taught in the course itself. So of course उनको भी ये बातें पता चलेंगी, so they'll have a good idea कि okay मेरे को aggressive नहीं होना, because a lot of students do that. वो जाके defense aspirants वहां पर जाके aggressive हो जाते हैं that I am the leader, listen to me, and that doesn't help.
Not at all.
So Anmol, with this, I would like to conclude this interview of yours, and I'm so glad to have you here. And I wish you all the very best for your upcoming life in that blue uniform that you always wanted to be into. And I'm so glad that you will be amongst those airplanes and in that blue uniform, enjoying your life. And I wish that most of the InsightSSB family come here and give an interview after their selection, just like you. Any final words that you have related to InsightSSB and how exactly it is the best platform?
I'd like to say that although this was my first attempt, but I think that the resources are very good, well curated, okay. And of course, you being a ex-aspirant who has already passed a lot of times, passed means been recommended a lot of time, certainly helps a lot, okay. Because most of the other platforms, at least online free ones, they are from an assessor's point of view. तो आपकी एक कैंडिडेट्स पर्सपेक्टिव रहती है. ऑफ कोर्स यू आल्सो ऐड कि एसेसर्स क्या देख रहे हैं, वो तो आपकी रहती है, लेकिन एक कैंडिडेट का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी आ जाता है. दैट हेल्प्स आउट अ लॉट. और मटेरियल भी मेरे हिसाब से काफी है. तो इफ इनसाइट एसएसबी ले रहे हैं आप, तो आई थिंक दैट विल बी मोर देन एनफ. बट ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव टू वर्क डिलीजेंटली, एंड जैसे कि मैंने कहा ओएलक्यूज डेवलपमेंट के लिए यू हैव टू इंटरैक्ट फ्रीक्वेंटली विद अदर्स, ट्राई टू बी अ काम गाय. डोंट मेरे हिसाब से बी अ गुड ह्यूमन बीइंग, ओके. स्टडीज ठीक ठाक रहने. Yeah, that is what I'd like to add, and so all the best to all the future aspirants. Hope we'll meet again, possible. Thank you.
Of course, they'll meet you. Being an officer, they'll be your juniors, and I hope that you'll treat those people as your family, because they have been recommended from the same place, InsightSSB.
Of course.
Thank you so much, Anmol.
Thank you.